Hi, and welcome to this edition of Backstage Movie News. Let's jump right in and see what Doctor Strange is all about, with the help of a few clips. In reality, Stephen Strange has saved many lives. But as he learns, there can be different realities. Doctor Strange has a compulsion for control, even over death. In a careless car crash, his hands are damaged. Not even his personal fortune and the medical system that he's so cherished can help. His life continues to spiral. He desperately spends his last dollars to seek out an alternative cure in mystical Nepal. There, he embarks on a journey into a world he could not have dreamed of. He finds a sorcerer, simply called the Ancient One, who introduces him to a new reality and a new life. Strange becomes aware that he can help the world in ways that are more significant than anything he has ever done. But where there is magical good, there's also magical evil. Protecting the entire world becomes his focus. Barriers between dimensions must be protected. Action, drama, tragedy, comedy, magic, and mysticism all are part of an electrifying adventure we can embark on with Doctor Strange. The film is our ticket into the newest Marvel Comics adventure. And with that, I'm not getting into the story any deeper. You'll have to see the film, but I hope I can further your interest by introducing you to the stars behind the stars. The film's producer, Kevin Feige, and its director, Scott Derrickson. Thanks to Marvel, we'll also run a few bonus backstage shots over some of the comments and, as usual, leave you with the trailer. Kevin Feige's grandfather was a TV producer, and Kevin grew up loving the cinema. On the first X-Men film, he was made an associate producer, due to his knowledge of the Marvel Universe. He was named president of production for Marvel Studios in March 2007. Kevin, thanks so much for talking with us. How was Doctor Strange different from other Marvel films?
I would say that there is, the street level narratives of the Marvel Universe that we've seen in a lot of films. There's the cosmic level, which Thor and Guardians and the Avengers have taken us to. But there always is a very important supernatural side to the Marvel comics. And we haven't touched on that really. And Doctor Strange is our perfect entry point into that.
What went into selecting someone to play the title role?
We have this great journey of this character from this arrogant surgeon to someone who needs to put ego aside and embrace sort of this new reality that he's learned about. And what do you need to do this? You need a spectacular actor. And the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch has agreed to do this role, is excited, is as enthusiastic as any actor that has ever joined our universe to portray this character is huge for us.
There's another Benedict in the film that plays a wizard that helps Strange start on his path.
He really is a good guy who has gone through the journey that Strange is currently going on before. And he acts as a guide for Strange when he gets to this facility. He introduces him to the Ancient One, who is the head sort of teacher of this organization. And he is a cool, normal guy. And in a certain way, he becomes a partner to Strange.
There were many people vying for the position of director. Why Scott Derrickson for this film?
Scott Derrickson has a great body of work, and like Joan Anthony Russo, like Joss Whedon, like Jon Favreau, like Kenneth Branagh, the best of the filmmakers we've worked with haven't necessarily done a film like the one we're asking them to do now, but they have done enough that they've shown they're incredibly talented. They have unique visions and a love of film and a love of sort of pushing the boundaries of what a movie can be. And you look at Scott's work going back to the earliest days, to his most recent films, he's always playing with genre, he's always subverting that genre. Sometimes he dives right into it, sometimes he twists it. That's exactly what we love to do at Marvel. And we just had a few great meetings where we realized he was was the guy to lead us through this journey of Doctor Strange.
Thanks, Kevin. Because Doctor Strange was his favorite comic book character, and he had such a tremendous knowledge of it, Scott Derrickson was chosen to direct the film. He also wanted to write it. Writer Robert Cargill had worked with Scott previously and was a Doctor Strange fan too. He and Scott eventually worked out the script so that Derrickson could begin filming in Nepal on November 4th, 2015. Scott, as such an avid fan of the character, can you fill us in on who is Doctor Strange?
Stephen Strange is a neurosurgeon, one of the top, if not the top neurosurgeon in New York City. And he's a materialist. He's materialistic in terms of his values. He's a skeptic. And he's really just about living a selfish, narcissistic life. And then he gets into a car crash that mangles his hands, and that sends him on a journey looking for healing for his hands. And that journey ultimately leads him into a world of mysticism and magic.
I heard you lobbied hard to direct this film. What appeals to you so much about Doctor Strange?
I mean, I think there's so many things about Doctor Strange that appealed to me. I do think it's probably the only comic book movie that I'm personally suited to do. It's my favorite comic book and has been for a long time. And I grew up reading Marvel Comics, and the uniqueness of Doctor Strange was the magic mysticism of it, the visual ambition of the other dimensions, the way they're represented in those early comics by Steve Ditko, and then in later iterations as well. So the presence of the supernatural, in short, was always fascinating to me and interesting to me, because that's not something you often get in comics, at least not comics from that era. But also then the character of Stephen Strange. I just always had a certain identification with it. This character who was sort of lonely and had gone through a gauntlet of suffering, and that suffering resulted in transformation, which was ultimately for the good, for him and for the world.
Tell us about Benedict Cumberbatch playing the role.
I don't think there's anyone who could have done better in the role than Benedict, and it's for three reasons. Number one, his raw talent as an actor. There are very few actors that can give you as many interesting choices in any given scene as Benedict. He is a first-class actor all the way. But what separates him from a lot of other first-class actors is, I think, his personal combination of high intelligence and depth of feeling. He has a very active mind, and he is very bright, and when you talk to him, it's very clear that he's very well educated and very smart. But he also has an incredible depth of feeling, and that's what enables him to have such a broad range of talent as an actor.
What do you want the audience to come away with?
I mean, I hope that people get a strong sense of both the fresh and the familiar. The familiar being, I want it to feel like a Marvel movie. People have a certain expectation when they pay to go see a Marvel Studios movie. And I think this movie feels like a Marvel Studios movie. It's certainly a good origin story of a Marvel character. But I also want it to feel fresh and new. I think that audiences are ready for Marvel to do some unusual things.
Thanks so much, Scott. Doctor Strange opened to rave reviews and box office records. The story of Doctor Strange's origin has been a great success. In fact, so much so that in October of 2016, Scott Derrickson revealed he had plans for a sequel. Benedict Cumberbatch has also let it be known that he loved doing it and has already signed for at least one more episode. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So, I hope that you have enjoyed this edition of Backstage Movie News, and that there will soon be a strange experience in your life. Here's the trailer, and see you at the movies.
Doctor Strange, you think you know how the world works? What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
This doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to. Through the mystic arts, we harness energy and shape reality. We travel great distances in an instant.
How do I get from here to there?
How did you become a doctor?
Study and practice, years of it.
There's a strength to him.
But is he ready?
Be careful which path you travel down, Strange. Stronger men than you have lost their way. I am death. And pain. You'll die protecting this world.
I can't do this.
There is no other way.
I've spent so many years peering through time, looking for you.
What's this, my mantra?
It's the Wi-Fi password. We're not savages.